Our first devotion for this week continues through our series on the Ten Commandments, but we're going to expand a little bit more on the first commandment. And that is what we covered on Friday was, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. And in Deuteronomy, starting in chapter 5, verse 8, they expand on that, and it says, you shall not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above or in earth beneath or that is in the water down under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquities of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me, but showing steadfast love to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. So, the reason I want to expand on this is because I think we have gotten into a bad habit as Christians of oversimplifying idolatry. Because when you say, and this takes place on two levels. The first level of oversimplification of idolatry is when you say, I don't have any idols. There isn't a statue of Baal in my living room that I pray to. I would hope not. There isn't an Asherah pole in the town center that we make sacrifices to for fertility. Again, I would hope not. You're not going to a temple prostitute, I would assume, in modern day America. And that's like a super oversimplification of idolatry. But I think by and large we've moved past that. I think if you ask the average Christian, when you say, what does it mean to have an idol, they are beyond, oh, it's just referring back to the pagan gods. But I think the second kind of level of oversimplification is what we've replaced that with. Because if you ask anyone, I shouldn't say that. Every time I've ever asked this question to a Bible study or to a group of people, what are some idols we have today? I can tell you the first three answers we're going to get. Money, power, and, oh shoot, what's the third one? I had it predicted. I know this. The money, power, fame maybe comes up, popularity comes up, that kind of thing. And people will say, well, these are our idols. And yeah. But I think that's an oversimplification because I think there are a lot of sneaky idols that we have in our lives that we don't necessarily want to deal with. And why I call them sneaky idols is because I think they are good gifts that God has given us that we put in the place of God. We elevate them beyond where they should be. In the words of the verse, we bow down to them and serve them over and above our God. And some examples I have are family. So I think there is a tendency for parents to idolize their kids. And I don't necessarily mean this in, oh, you think your kid is perfect, you put him on a pedestal. That's also a problem, but that's not what I mean when I say idolize. I mean, you bow down and you serve your kids above God. So you are willing to sacrifice devotional life, prayer life, worship for your kids' sporting events, for your kids to get into that good school. And like, it's not a bad thing to want to give your kids a future, to take care of your kids. As a parent, that is your calling, that is your vocation. The problem is when that is a greater priority than your faith and their faith. That is when it becomes an idol. I think kind of in this vein, people idolize, that's the word I'm looking for. People idolize their significant other, their spouse, their boyfriend, their girlfriend, their fiance, and they're willing to sacrifice anything to serve them. I hate to break it to you, but if something that you are doing for your spouse is taking you away from God, is taking you away from His Word, that's something you need to talk about. And you need to say, we need to change this. Because this has become an idol. And if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend that is taking you away from God, you need to ask yourself seriously, is this relationship an idol? And if so, is it something I need to cut? So those are some. Sports is another big one. People, like, they live and die by how well their sports team's doing. Politics is another one. People think that their chosen candidate or their chosen party is like, these are things that, like, good leaders. Yes, God has given us this incredible freedom in our country to help choose our leaders. God has given us sports teams. I genuinely believe sports for entertainment. I think that is a gift from God. And these are all things that are good things, but when we take them too far, when we bow down and serve them instead of our God, they become idols. And that is a problem. That is a violation, a transgression of the second commandment. And it's a hard thing to deal with, but it's something we need to deal with. So, that is, I said second commandment, of the first commandment. So, that's a little bit more in depth on the idolatry that is kind of part of the discussion of the first commandment. So, with that, brothers and sisters, go in peace, serve the Lord. Thanks be to God.